The lone ship. Captain Sarah Chen stood at the viewport of the HS of Avalon, watching the alien ruins sprawl across the dusty surface of Kepler 186f. The massive structures, half buried in red sand, represented humanity's first concrete evidence of advanced extraterrestrial civilization. After 3 centuries of space exploration, they'd finally found proof they weren't alone. The discovery should have been triumphant. Instead, Sarah felt a growing sense of unease. "Araya, run another scan of the energy signatures," she commanded. The ship's AI responded immediately, its holographic interface shimmering to life beside her. "Analyzing, Captain. The quantum fluctuations continue to increase in frequency and amplitude. Whatever's down there, it's becoming more active with each passing hour." Sarah ran her fingers through her short black hair, a habit that had intensified since taking command of humanity's most advanced warship. The Avalon represented the pinnacle of human achievement, a vessel capable of faster-than-light travel, equipped with energy shields and weapons that would have seemed like magic just a century ago. Yet standing here, before these ancient monuments, she felt like a child who'd wandered into a giant's laboratory. "Any response to our attempts at contact?" she asked, though she already knew the answer. They'd been broadcasting on all frequencies for the past week, using every known protocol and mathematical sequence that might indicate intelligence. "Negative, Captain." However, Araya paused, something the eye rarely did. "I'm detecting new signatures at the edge of our sensor range. Multiple objects, accelerating toward our position at sublight speeds." Sarah's hand instinctively moved to the neural interface at the base of her skull, the direct link to Avalon's systems that made her more than just a commander, but a true extension of the ship itself. Through it, she felt the subtle shift in the vessel's energy distribution as ARIA brought defensive systems online. Classification: unknown designs, but the energy outputs suggest extremely advanced technology. "There?" Araya's voice took on an urgent tone. "Captain, they're decelerating. 15 vessels, varying sizes. The largest is approximately 3 times our mass." Before Sarah could respond, space itself seemed to ripple before them. The approaching ships dropped out of what appeared to be their own version of FTL travel, surrounding the Avalon in a loose formation that was clearly military in nature. Their designs were organic, almost crystalline, with surfaces that seemed to shift and flow like liquid metal. "Open all channels," Sarah ordered, straightening her uniform. "Let's hope first contact protocols weren't a waste of training time." The main view screen flickered to life, revealing a being that appeared vaguely humanoid, but with iridescent skin and multiple sets of eyes arranged in a symmetrical pattern. When it spoke, Araya translated in real time. "This is Archon Vexthor of the Hegemony Expeditionary Force. You have entered restricted space and accessed prohibited ruins. State your identity and purpose immediately." Sarah took a deep breath, very aware that humanity's first official interaction with an alien civilization would be recorded in her words. "I am Captain Sarah Chen of the human spaceship Avalon. We are explorers from Earth, seeking peaceful contact with other civilizations. We had no knowledge this region was restricted." The alien's multiple eyes blinked in an unsettling pattern. "Earth. Yes, we have observed your species' fumbling steps into space. Primitive FTL technology, barely functional shields, lockably inefficient weapons. You are fortunate we discovered you before you accidentally destroyed yourselves with technology you clearly don't understand." The dismissive tone made Sarah's jaw clench, but she maintained her diplomatic composure. "With respect, Archon, we may be younger than your civilization, but we are capable of handling our own affairs. We're willing to withdraw from this region, but we request the opportunity for diplomatic dialogue and cultural exchange." A sound emerged from the alien that AI had translated as laughter, though it sent chills down Sarah's spine. "Cultural exchange. What could your infant species possibly have to offer the hegemony? We have ruled the galaxy for 10,000 years. The ruins you so clumsily investigated are remnants of civilizations that fell before your kind learned to make fire. Something about the Archon's attitude struck Sarah as wrong. The contempt seemed forced, almost rehearsed, and she noticed smaller vessels in the formation taking up attack positions while their commander postured. "Era," she subvocalized through her neural link. "Run a deep scan of those ruins. Focus on any signatures that match the energy patterns of these ships." "Captain," Era responded privately, "I'm detecting a significant anomaly. The quantum signatures from the ruins are reaching out toward the Avalon. They appear to be scanning us." Sarah kept her expression neutral as she addressed the Archon. "Perhaps you're right about our technological inferiority. But in my experience, those who feel truly superior rarely need to proclaim it so loudly." The alien skin flickered with patterns that ARIA's translation protocols interpreted as anger. "You dare to." "In fact," Sarah continued, her hand hovering over the neural interface, "I wonder if you're not here to protect us from the ruins, but to protect the ruins from us." The Archon's response was cut off by Aria's urgent alert. "Captain, quantum surge from the surface. Something is activating." The ruins below erupted with light, and Sarah felt a strange sensation through her neural link, as if the Avalon itself was awakening to something. The ship's systems began responding to commands she hadn't given, displaying information in patterns she'd never seen. "What have you done?" the Archon demanded, genuine fear replacing the earlier condescension. "All ships, open fire. The humans must not be allowed to." The transmission cut off as Sarah's neural link flooded with information. Historical records, technical specifications, tactical data, all flowing directly into her mind faster than she could process. But one message came through with crystal clarity. "Guardian sequency INITIATED. Analyzing CANDDAT species. Criteria and ET. Transformation protocol engaged." The hegemony ships opened fire, their energy weapons converging on the Avalon's position. But Sarah wasn't worried. For the first time since they'd discovered the ruins, she felt complete certainty. The Avalon had been recognized by something ancient and powerful, and humanity's role in the galaxy was about to change forever. As the alien weapons fire approached, Sarah closed her eyes and embraced the transformation that was beginning. The real question wasn't whether the Avalon would survive this attack, but whether the hegemony would survive what the Avalon was about to become. "Aria," she commanded, a smile playing at the corners of her mouth. "Let's show them what a primitive species can do." The universe held its breath, and the game began. Hidden knowledge. The transformation of the HSS Avalon defied everything humanity thought they knew about physics. As Captain Sarah Chen watched through the neural interface, the ship's hull rippled with patterns of light that seemed to exist in more dimensions than space should allow. The hegemony's weapons fire didn't so much bounce off its phase through reality around them, leaving ghostly afterimages in its wake. "Status report, Aria," Sarah commanded, her mind still reeling from the flood of information pouring through the neural link. "Captain, the quantum artifact is integrating with our systems at a molecular level. I'm detecting changes in the fundamental structure of the ship. The hull is developing properties I can't fully quantify with our existing scientific models." Through the view screen, Sarah watched the hegemony fleet's formation tighten as they prepared for another assault. But their earlier confidence had evaporated, replaced by visible uncertainty. "What exactly are we becoming, Aria?" "Processing historical data now. The artifacts we discovered were left by a civilization known as the Precursors. They..." Aria paused, sorting through the vast database that had been unlocked. "They seeded the galaxy with life, Captain. Not just any life, specifically engineered species with the potential to one day take their place as guardians." The neural interface buzzed with activity as Sarah accessed the historical records herself. Images flashed through her mind. A galaxy-spanning civilization of beings who had transcended physical form, their technology so advanced it bordered on supernatural. But they hadn't been conquerors, they had been protectors, maintaining balance and nurturing younger species toward their potential. The hegemony, Sarah realized, they found precursor technology too, didn't they? But something went wrong. Correct, Araya confirmed. The hegemony discovered precursor ruins 3,000 years ago, but they failed the Guardian trials. Instead of accepting the outcome, they used what technology they could understand to build their empire, suppressing other species to prevent them from accessing precursor sites. A transmission cut through their conversation, the Archon's voice now trembling with barely contained rage. You will surrender that vessel immediately. The precursor legacy belongs to the hegemony alone. Sarah ignored him, focusing instead on the new tactical data streaming through her neural link. The Avalon's weapons had been completely reconfigured, now capable of manipulating space-time itself. The defensive systems operated on principles that made their old energy shields look like stone walls in comparison. Captain, Araya reported, I'm detecting multiple quantum signatures activating throughout this sector. The hegemony fleet is attempting to jam the signals, but they're afraid, Sarah finished, because they know what those signatures mean. The network is waking up. Through her link with the ship, Sarah felt the ancient defense grid stirring to life. Quantum beacons hidden in stellar cores, dimensional anchors buried in gas giants, and monitoring stations disguised as asteroids, all part of a vast system the precursors had left to protect their experiment in seeding the galaxy with life. All hegemony vessels, the Archon broadcast, destroy that ship at all costs. We cannot allow. His transmission cut off as the Avalon's new weapons came online. Sarah didn't fully understand the technology yet, but her neural link translated the capabilities into concepts she could grasp. With a thought, she created a localized time dilation field around the nearest hegemony vessel. The ship seemed to freeze in space, its weapons fire suspended in mid-burst. ARIA began full analysis of all precursor data regarding the Guardian protocols, and send a priority transmission to Earth Command. They need to know what's coming. Captain, the quantum artifact is revealing more information about the precursor's plan. It appears we weren't chosen randomly. Human neural plasticity, our adaptability, our capacity for both warfare and empathy. We were engineered for this role millennia ago. Sarah watched as another hegemony ship attempted to fire, only to have its energy weapons curved back on themselves by the Avalon's gravitational manipulators. They engineered us to be guardians, but the hegemony has been preventing species from reaching their potential. How many civilizations have they suppressed? How many races have they kept from achieving their destiny? The answer came through the neural link in a cascade of data, dozens of species, hundreds of potential civilizations, all held back by the hegemony's fear and control. The precursors had created a garden of possibility, and the hegemony had spent thousands of years salting the earth. Captain, Araya's voice carried an urgent tone. The hegemony fleet is charging their primary weapons. Energy readings suggest they're willing to sacrifice their own ships to destroy us. Sarah allowed herself a small smile. They still think this is about destroying or being destroyed. They never understood what being a guardian really means. Through the neural interface, she accessed one of the Avalon's new systems. Not a weapon, but something far more powerful. Reality rippled around the ship as she activated it, creating a field that linked directly to the consciousness of every being in the hegemony fleet. Let me show you what you've been fighting against, she broadcast, sharing through the field what she'd learned from the precursor database. The truth about their species' potential, the real purpose of the Guardian protocols, the future they could all build together. The hegemony ship's weapons powered down one by one as their crews experienced the vision. Even the Archon's flagship fell silent as understanding swept through their ranks. The precursors didn't want us to destroy each other, Sarah announced to the fleet. They wanted us to grow, to learn, to become more than we are. The Guardian protocols aren't about power. They're about responsibility. The question isn't whether humanity deserves this role. The question is, Will you help us fulfill it? As the hegemony fleet hung silently in space, processing this revelation, HFY reported new quantum signatures appearing throughout the sector. The ancient network was fully awakening, and with it, the true test of humanity's worthiness was about to begin. The age of the Guardians had returned, and the galaxy would never be the same. The hunter becomes the hunted. The hegemony's answer came in the form of antimatter torpedoes launched at Earth's outer colonies. No warnings, no declarations of war, just the silent death of millions in the cold of space. The Archon's seeming acceptance of the Guardian protocols had been a ruse, buying time for their real response. Multiple distress signals from the Centauric colonies, HFY reported, her usual calm voice tinged with urgency. Hegemony battle groups detected in 6 sectors. They're targeting civilian populations, Captain. Sarah Chen felt each death like a physical blow through the Avalon's enhanced systems. The neural interface now connected her not just to the ship, but to a vast network of quantum sensors throughout human space. She could feel the fear of the colonists, the determination of the defense forces, the cold calculation of the hegemony commanders. They're trying to eliminate us before we fully understand our new capabilities, she realized. Track their attack patterns, HFY. There has to be a weakness in their strategy. The Avalon phased through space-time, emerging in the Proxima Centauri system, just as a hegemony strike force was preparing to bombard the main colony. The ship's new weapons wrote equations of death across the void, gravitational lenses that curved enemy fire back upon itself, temporal fields that aged missiles to dust before they could reach their targets, quantum entanglement beams that turned the hegemony's sophisticated shields against them. But it wasn't enough. For every battle group they stopped, 2 more appeared. The hegemony had spent thousands of years preparing for this possibility, building an empire designed to crush any species that might threaten their dominion. Captain. HFY's voice cut through Sarah's concentration. I've detected a pattern in the quantum background radiation. The hegemony ships, their FTL signatures are leaving traces in the precursor network. Sarah accessed the data through her neural link, understanding flowing directly into her mind. They're using corrupted precursor technology for their faster-than-light drives. That's how they built their empire so quickly, but they never fully understood the principles behind it. The Avalon danced through another battle, its hull rippling with multidimensional patterns that made targeting them almost impossible. Sarah had learned to let the ship's enhanced systems guide her instincts, trusting in the synthesis of human intuition and precursor technology. HFY, can we use the network to track their movements? Maybe set up an ambush. Better than that, Captain. Their corrupted drives are leaving quantum scars in space-time. If we can access the full precursor defensive grid, we could use those scars to predict their movements before they happen. A tactical display bloomed in Sarah's mind through the neural interface, a 3-dimensional map of quantum probability streams showing the hegemony fleet's possible future positions. But something else caught her attention. Darker patterns beneath the tactical data, suggesting hidden structures scattered throughout human space. HFY analyzed those anomalies. They look like precursor installations, Captain, dormant defense platforms, automated repair facilities, and HFY paused, processing the immense data stream. Something else. The quantum signatures suggest some kind of automated manufacturing system. Sarah's eyes widened as understanding flowed through the neural link. They're not just defense platforms. They're seeds. The precursors left everything we'd need to build our own Guardian fleet, once we proved ourselves worthy of it. The tactical display suddenly flared with new alerts as another hegemony battle group emerged from FTL near Europa. But this time, Sarah was ready. The Avalon's enhanced sensors had already predicted their arrival vector through the quantum scars. Multiple vessels detected, HFY reported. They're charging weapons. Wait, Captain, I'm detecting unusual energy readings from their flagship. They appear to be using some kind of reverse-engineered precursor device. The hegemony flagship's hull began to glow with an unnatural light, and Sarah felt reality itself shudder around them. Through the neural interface, she sensed the fabric of space-time beginning to tear. They're desperate, she realized. They're trying to use corrupted Guardian technology to force their way through our defenses, even if it means risking the integrity of space-time itself. The Avalon systems responded instantly to the threat, automatically reconfiguring their defenses to match the new danger. But Sarah held back from launching a counterattack, something in the quantum data stream catching her attention. HFY analyzed that energy signature again. Something's not right about their configuration. The AI's response was immediate. Confirmed, Captain. Their attempt to replicate precursor technology is fundamentally flawed. The quantum harmonics are becoming increasingly unstable. At this rate, they'll tear themselves apart, Sarah finished, and take half the solar system with them. She opened a channel to the Hegemony flagship. Your drive configuration is critically unstable. Power down immediately, or you'll destroy everything in this sector, including yourselves. The response came in the form of increased power to their weapons. The flagship's hull was now glowing like a small sun, reality warping visibly around it. Sarah closed her eyes, connecting more deeply with the Avalon systems. The precursor database flowed through her mind, revealing not just the technical specifications of their technology, but the philosophy behind it. The Guardian protocols weren't about winning battles, they were about preserving life, about maintaining the delicate balance that allowed civilizations to grow and evolve. HFY prepared to execute Protocol Omega and send a message to Earth Command. The hunter becomes the hunted. As the Hegemony flagship's drive reached critical levels, the true power of the Guardian protocols was about to be revealed. And with it, the real reason the precursors had chosen humanity for this role. The game was changing, and the hunters were about to learn what it meant to be prey. Turning the tide. Protocol Omega wasn't a weapon, it was an awakening. As Sarah Chen activated the sequence through her neural link with the Avalon, the dormant precursor network blazed to life. Quantum beacons hidden throughout human space synchronized, creating a web of probability and possibility that encompassed every human colony. The Hegemony flagship's unstable drive provided the perfect catalyst. Instead of trying to contain the temporal explosion, Sarah used the Avalon's enhanced systems to channel it, letting the energy cascade through the quantum network. The result was beyond anything the Hegemony could have predicted. Every piece of their corrupted precursor technology began to resonate with the original network. Ships lost power as their modified drives rebelled against their crude adaptations. Weapon systems crashed as the quantum harmonics revealed the flaws in their reverse-engineered designs. Multiple Hegemony vessels dropping out of FTL, HFY reported. Their systems are experiencing cascading failures across all sectors. But Captain, there's something else happening. Sarah felt it through the neural interface. A change in the quantum fabric itself. The precursor network wasn't just disrupting the Hegemony's technology. It was reaching out to their crews, establishing connections on a level deeper than conscious thought. They're receiving the true historical records, she realized. Everything the Hegemony leadership kept hidden from their own people. Through the quantum network, Sarah witnessed the revelation spreading through enemy ranks. The truth about how their leaders had corrupted the Guardian protocols, how they had suppressed their own species' development to maintain control, how they had turned a system meant to nurture life into tools of oppression. Captain, HFY's voice carried an unusual note of wonder. I'm detecting quantum signatures from multiple Hegemony science vessels. They're powering down their weapons. Several of their lead researchers are requesting direct communication. The main view screen activated, showing not the Archon, but a different Hegemony official. One Sarah recognized from the historical data as Dr. Venra, their foremost expert on precursor technology. Captain Chen, the alien scientist's translated voice was thick with emotion. We had no idea. The historical records, the true purpose of the Guardian protocols. Our leaders kept it all from us. Because they knew the truth would end their control, Sarah replied. The precursors didn't want servants or soldiers. They wanted partners, species working together to protect and nurture life throughout the galaxy. More hegemony ships were powering down, their crews awakening to the truth of their civilization's history. But not all of them. The Archons faction remained hostile, their weapons still trained on human colonies. "You don't understand what you're doing," the Archon's voice cut through the communications. "Without our control, without our guidance, the galaxy will descend into chaos. We are the only ones strong enough to—" Strength was never the point, Sarah interrupted. "The precursors chose humanity not because we were powerful, but because we understand something your leaders forgot. True strength comes from lifting others up, not holding them down." Through the neural interface, Sarah accessed the next level of the Guardian protocols. The Avalon's hull began to shift, revealing patterns that seemed to exist in dimensions beyond normal space. Around them, the dormant precursor installations were transforming as well, constructing something that defied conventional physics. "Dr. Venra," Sarah addressed the hegemony scientist, "your people have a choice to make. You can help us rebuild what your leaders tried to destroy, or you can cling to their lies and face the consequences." The Guardian protocols weren't designed to eliminate threats. They were designed to create opportunities for redemption. The scientists' multiple eyes blinked in a pattern that the translation software interpreted as determination. "We choose truth, Captain Chen. Many of us have suspected for years that our leaders were hiding something. Now we know what it was, and who we were meant to be." Multiple hegemony vessels changing allegiance, Araya reported. Quantum network integration expanding exponentially. "Captain, I think we're witnessing the beginning of something unprecedented." Sarah smiled as she felt the transformation spreading through human space. The precursor network wasn't just a defensive system. It was a blueprint for a new kind of civilization, one built on cooperation rather than conquest. And humanity's role wasn't to rule this new order, but to guide it, to ensure that no species would ever again be prevented from reaching their full potential. The final battle for the galaxy's future was about to begin, but the weapons would not be ships or energy beams. The real victory would come through understanding, through the realization of what all sentient species could achieve together. The tide hadn't just turned, it had transformed into something entirely new. Legacy of the Stars. The Archon's final assault came at dawn, Earth time. 300 ships, the last loyal forces of the old hegemony, emerged from FTL in perfect attack formation. They had abandoned their corrupted precursor technology, relying instead on pure destructive power. Their weapon arrays glowed with enough energy to shatter planets. Sarah Chen stood on the Avalon's bridge, the neural interface humming with activity as the quantum network processed probabilities and possibilities. Through it, she sensed the presence of the defected hegemony scientists, their ships now integrated into the growing Guardian fleet. Dr. Venra's discoveries had proven invaluable, helping unlock new aspects of the precursor legacy that even the enhanced Avalon systems hadn't fully understood. "All Guardian vessels report ready," Araya announced. "The quantum matrix is stable. Precursor installations are fully operational." The Archon's transmission cut through all frequencies. "You think you understand power. We ruled the galaxy while your ancestors were still learning to make fire. We will not be replaced by primitives who stumbled upon technology they can't comprehend." Sarah didn't bother responding to the bluster. Instead, she initiated the final phase of Protocol Omega. The Avalon's hull rippled with multi-dimensional patterns as reality itself seemed to acknowledge their role as true guardians. The hegemony fleet opened fire, their combined weapons creating a wave of destruction that would have annihilated Earth's defenses just weeks ago. But the rules had changed. The quantum network responded instantly, not just defending against the attack but transforming it. Where there had been destruction, new possibilities bloomed. The very energy meant to destroy them was caught in probability matrices, reformed, reshaped. Through her neural link, Sarah guided the process, demonstrating the true purpose of the Guardian protocols. "Do you see now? She broadcast to all ships, friend and foe alike. This was never about weapons or defenses. The precursors weren't building an arsenal. They were creating a toolkit for transformation. The space around Earth rippled as hidden precursor installations activated their final protocols. Massive structures phased into reality. Not weapon platforms, but construction facilities, research centers, diplomatic hubs. The blueprint for a new galactic civilization, hidden in plain sight until humanity proved worthy of its inheritance. Impossible, the Archon's voice trembled. The phase gates, the concordance engines, everything we sought for millennia, was waiting for someone who would use them correctly. Sarah finished, not to control or destroy, but to connect and create. The quantum network pulsed with new energy as more hegemony ships defected, their crews finally understanding the true legacy they had been fighting against. The Archon's fleet grew smaller by the moment, as reality itself seemed to choose sides. Through the neural interface, Sarah accessed the complete precursor database, finally understanding their grand design. The Guardian protocols weren't about creating a police force for the galaxy. They were about establishing caretakers, guides who would help young civilizations reach their potential while preventing any single power from suppressing the rest. The Archon's flagship charged its main weapon array, preparing for one final suicidal attack. But Sarah was ready. The Avalon systems interfaced directly with the quantum network, and she felt the presence of every allied ship, every awakened precursor installation, every being who had chosen to embrace transformation over destruction. "You still think this is about fighting," she transmitted to the Archon. "That's why you were never worthy of the Guardian protocols. Let me show you what real power looks like." The quantum network activated at full capacity for the first time in millennia. Reality twisted, not with violence but with purpose. The energy from the hegemony's weapons was caught in probability fields, transformed, and redirected. Where there had been ships bent on destruction, there were now possibilities for creation. The Archon's final attack dissolved into quantum potential, his weapons transformed into pure creative force. The flagship itself was caught in the transformation field, its very structure becoming part of the new order they were building. Multiple quantum signatures detected. Araya reported, "Captain, the network is receiving signals from throughout the galaxy. Other species, hidden civilizations, all responding to the activation signal." Sarah smiled as she felt the connections forming. Races the hegemony had suppressed for generations were awakening to their potential. The quantum network was reaching out, offering not dominance, but partnership, not control but cooperation. "Send the final protocol," she commanded. "Let's show them all what the precursors really had in mind." The Avalon pulsed with energy as the message spread through the quantum network. Not a declaration of victory, but an invitation. Come, learn, grow, create. The galaxy is alive with possibility, and no one will ever again be denied their chance to reach for the stars. The age of suppression was over. The age of guardianship had begun. And humanity's greatest challenge wasn't winning a war. It was living up to the responsibility of helping to guide a galaxy of awakening civilizations toward their true potential. As the quantum network stabilized and the new connections strengthened, Sarah Chen looked out at the transformed space around Earth. The precursors had planned well, choosing not the strongest species, not the most advanced, but the one that could learn, adapt, and most importantly, understand that true power lay not in dominion over others, but in helping others achieve their own greatness. The legacy of the stars wasn't a weapon or a shield, it was a promise humanity would now help keep, not as conquerors or rulers, but as guardians of possibility itself. The end.